So Kitty, how did your Mexico trip go?
Oh, great. Yeah. I mean, she wants to list. It's just a matter of the contract. So,
Yeah,
uh,
the attorney is coming back on Friday.
perfect.
I mean,
Perfect.
I think he's down in Mexico right now.
No,
So,
that's great. I mean, I did a little bit of due diligence I pretended to be a buyer and went into a new development and, asked all the questions about the process and what escrow companies exist that work in both the US and
do you want to
Mexico.
kind of explain to the group what you're doing and what you're trying to do?
Yeah. So I have a friend who gave me this connection in Mexico, and it's outside of Puerto Vallarta, and it's a $2.5 million house, presumably. Needs some work, but it was built 22 years ago, and it's huge. It's on the water in the bay. You get a little boat to get to the dock of it. But anyway, she knows that her end buyer is going to be likely a Californian, but maybe a Canadian. A lot of growth has happened in PV. So she was really adamant about having me list it. And she doesn't want, she also wants it to be kind of private with her neighbors. She doesn't want the local community knowing that it's listed. And that's another reason for wanting to sell the way I am. So yeah, I went down there for a week. I mean, I've already gotten drone photography, video, all the photos taken while I was there. And I'm operating off of a bit of trust with the very basic contract that we have right now. But I did talk to her close friends who have worked in real estate. She actually used to work in real estate, but things are done very differently over there. I want to make sure everything's ironclad when it comes to contracts. So Robert's helping us figure out what that needs to be. And then she liked the idea of this platform. And she's fine paying 6% normally, but explaining to her, especially with the type of property it is, all we're going to do to promote it and drive people to this transparent bidding site and give the buyers options with closing cost credit and those types of things. In Mexico, or at least in that state, the in Jalisco, the buyers typically pay all the closing costs. And then it's the seller has to worry about obtaining, if they don't already have the elegido or the title, have to go through some of those costs with the taxes associated with that and other costs associated with selling. So that's what I was working on last week. And then I'm also trying to convince someone locally who's a friend who's using me as her buyer agent to put her property on the platform because she's trying to do everything herself and she's an investor. She's done a lot of deals up in Redding and Northern California, and she has a house here in Oakland. And just trying to convince her to move it onto the platform instead of paying some $200 flat broker fee.
What are you
Those are my
charging a
updates.
person in Mexico? Well,
6%.
let them know that they're going to go do. So, you know what Sotheby's would charge for a similar listing? 16%, 10% for the platform, 6% for the commissions.
Wow. 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 We
Yeah,
know
that's
it's going to
pretty cool,
be,
Brett.
yeah.
Yeah, remember when we looked that up and I showed you those the $1 million? It was 10% for the platform and 6% for real estate fees. 16%.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for that. I don't remember. Yeah, I might not have been on for that. So thank you.
All right, on. Anybody else got any updates, news?
I have a listing appointment tomorrow, and it's one that they already know is an investment type home because they haven't done a lot with it. So it'll be interesting to actually see what, after I get in the house, to see what it's worth and or see what it looks like. So I can maybe have my first investment property and to do the A to B, B to C with easy. Or if it's going to be innovation or how that's going to work. I don't know what quality the home is in.
Very cool. Look at that. Michelle's out there working.
Where's it at?
Oh, It is in Kent Federal Way. CMA would put it in the, I think, mid-5s, low-6s.
The low, moderate, low end. for the
Yeah.
area.
And
Good.
then again, depending on the quality of the home, I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be on in the very low 5s. So he already has some numbers from some previous investors that have looked at it. So we will go talk tomorrow afternoon, take some pictures and see what we can
270.
find.
Well, yeah, Adam told me he was gonna be, when he must got stuck on something or another, so I know Adam wanted to come on and, explain to you what he has been finding through processes and, going on, so it'll be worth it to hear him speak. But he was supposed to be on today and obviously something happened, so anyways. I do know too, the other thing is I do a lot of preparation for these things, and I do know that I want to get the Facebook marketing going for you guys. And I am, if Katie gets this property in Mexico, we definitely plan on doing our little magic on pushing that out. Some of the stuff that
Yeah.
I've done to get people outside of an MLS to list the homes. And we've had 100% success on it when I've done it in the past. So I'm looking forward to that challenge as well, be down in Mexico. It maybe open up a whole new
Yeah.
opportunity for all of us.
Yeah.
So it's going to be exciting to figure that out together. And yeah, at some point we do plan to go into Mexico and into Canada. The attorney's working on the Canadian stuff right now. And I know he goes down to Mexico like 10 times a year. In
Awesome.
fact, I don't even know why he didn't live down there instead of up here. Anyway, so we'll have to find out from him if it's much easier to get started down there as well too. So
What are the restrictions? Any idea?
what's that?
The restrictions for the platform down there? Do they have? It still be what, through licensed people down there? Or
Actually, Canada is not as restrictive as US.
Right.
Mexico, I don't know. We haven't pursued Mexico yet. I would imagine Mexico, I don't think would be, based on what I've heard from friends that have leased property down there, including him. I think he's got like 10 properties all over Mexico that he's leased and bought. So we'll find out. That'd be good. I see.
Yeah, 'cause I just had a
Oh,
buddy
go ahead.
move to Cozumel. He's
What's that,
hooked up
Brett?
I said I had a friend just moved to Cozumel and he's got his residency there and he's hooked up all their agents down there.
That would be good to know. It's awesome.
It's booming down there.
Yeah.
So Adam did join up, you guys. So I'm going to actually turn the meeting over to him. And Adam, thanks for getting on.
My pleasure. I'll try and keep it, as brief as I can. I think one of those things that we were, really discussing, I was this morning I was talking with one of my buddies in the industry who actually provides, referrals, et cetera, to both agents and investors. The feedback from him was actually very fascinating. I said, "Oh, how's business? How's everything going?" And he's like, "It's slow, it's slow, it's slow." And kind of telling me a little bit why. And he's like, agents don't even call the leads. I was like, I couldn't believe it, by the way. Like he's like, agents aren't calling the leads, and investors are playing a little bit of games here and there. It's very frustrating. So it's one of those things. I would say is, especially in this market, is there's a ton of opportunity out there. Just any of the lead generators that I am speaking to, they're generating a ton of leads, and there's a ton of hurt out there. You can see it on your local MLSs, right? There are homes that are sitting out there for a very, very, very long period of time, longer than we've been accustomed to since before COVID. And I think that's a huge selling point for you guys as experienced agents, to anyone that you're speaking to attract your listings, basically, and make a distinction in the marketplace, right? Houses literally don't just move just because you throw them up on the MLS anymore. It requires a lot of work. It requires pricing it properly. But everybody here who's in the Zoom room has access to the platform, right? And within the platform, I've seen really such incredible and tremendous results. Just properties that I've been a part of, both I've been a part of, that I was under contract with as a novation or a listing arrangement, and others that have been placed on the platform. The number one thing I see is the Zillow view and save count. Something that's listed on the platform versus something else in the neighborhood. That is a huge selling point to a seller. The seller's coming for a solution. They're looking for as close to a guaranteed sale as possible, right? They want to get their house sold, and they want to get it sold quickly, right? And it's very discouraging to see when houses are out there on the market. To be able to say, hey, look, this house down the street that Steve over here has listed got 3 saves and got 50, 60, 70 Zillow views. This house that I have over here, I have 600 saves. I have 2,000 Zillow views. That's a huge difference. You're bringing all this momentum, right? So that's a huge advantage, that we have, on our side of things. So, that's one thing, that I was definitely seeing, and Robert and I were discussing. Another thing was, and we were discussing on the call on Monday, and pertained to the 1%, with the easy, how do we explain this to our sellers? And I think that's actually, I was reflecting on it after the call, and it really hit me right away. I think that is a super simple thing to explain to the seller, right? We are actually, the platform is achieving those results for the sellers in tandem with you guys, with the agent. So I don't think that, that 1%, again, if another agent is going from, we're taking a bottom up approach. If another agent is taking a top down approach, in 30 days when that house hasn't had any action, they're coming and they're grabbing more than a 1% price reduction, hoping to get that house sold, right? We're not coming and grabbing those price reductions. We're actually bringing them a higher price in a faster period of time. A lot of sellers don't realize what they are looking for and what they want. They know they generally want around this number. I don't think that should be a huge issue. And again, if you're getting pushback from a seller, about the platform and the 1%, you got to show them the difference on the views and the difference on the saves, especially in this buyer's market. I firmly believe it with tremendous conviction. As someone who is, on the investment side, I have my own flips, and when you have, that kind of money that needs to be repaid every single month, another month kills you to pay that loan, right? Another $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 can make or break your project, right? That activity, that action, pricing it properly from day one and getting that property moved is huge. Paying that 1% would be an honor to get that property and get that gone. Paying the agents their 6%, you just got to price it right from the beginning. Those were the things that Robert and I were discussing this week. Did I miss anything, Robert?
I don't think so. Does anybody have any questions for Adam?
When you were saying more generally, agents aren't calling leads that are being delivered to them from the platform, or
No.
from other sources?
This was another source. This was one of my buddies. I should have made that a little bit more clear. He was saying how he believed that there's a ton of opportunity based on his experience, right? That means if they're doing it to them, they're doing it to the Zillow Flex program or any other program, and even their own leads, right?
Right.
The agent, there's just these sellers are just not being taken care of. That there's opportunity. That's his belief.
And it's funny, you guys. And we'll find out even through this flip. I try to get more involved. I think the trainings that we've gone over, and I'm not real sure how to make it any better or any easier. When you follow the processes, the program will work. You got to remember there's buyer bucket pools that you got to be arraigned. If you got a $2 million house versus a $500,000 house, obviously there's more buyers in the $500,000 price range than the $2 million price range. So sometimes you got to but you got to bring that stuff into the listing appointment and talk to the sellers. And that's a great thing to go back. We've done, I think, 3 or 4 trainings going into even Zillow, which most sellers look at every day to see what their home's worth. And we can check out, the saves and show views versus, something not on the platform. And I don't know if you recall that Mike Weiland was one of them that we specifically did it with. And after going over his property on Zillow, found out that he was gaining so much traction. But his first thing is to come back and say, well, they want to pull it off the platform, that they don't see it. The platform's not a magic 8-ball site, but the platform will get you more views, as Adam was saying, than anything else out there. And if it's not getting views, guess what? It's not priced right, right? And that's something I can't help you with. I don't have the problem that most of you have. I have not had one property go on and not sell on the site. And so I not coming across as a braggart or anything, but I've been doing it for 10 years, not for 6 months. But we have brought in all the tools and everything that you need to go out there and get listing appointments right now and get listings. If you follow the processes from A to Z, you will be successful. And again, this a $2 million home in in some market, that's a lot of money. And there just aren't a lot of buyers out there that are going to spend $2 million. And we got to take that into account and take that into when we're talking to ourselves. We got to let them know that the site's it's not a magic 8-ball, but we still are going to yield more traffic than anybody else out there. And that's what the site does. And then the other thing that I want to say that after digesting what you guys were saying on Monday is I haven't heard one person that's done an open house the way that we've said that didn't come out with leads. And there's something about just getting a listing and pulling out some buyer leads, and especially in this market, where we all say, well, I don't want to go show buyers, yada, yada, yada. Well, the buyers hold the keys of the magic kingdom right this minute. But by getting listings, you should be generating your buyer and seller leads and going. This is a wonderful time to keep getting listings. Foreclosures are going to start. It's either the end of this year or the beginning of next year. They are going to start to flow. We're talking to servicing banks right now. That's what I spend a lot of time during the day doing. And we're trying to pull these servicing companies into our network. He's well represented in there. These people that we're doing our loan with right now, they are going to start using us for their foreclosures. So we are doing our job to get you more listings. But what we need you guys to do is buckle down and understand the processes and not lose things. If you can't get a listing with telling a seller that they're not going to pay a commission, then something's not right. And we're spending a small fortune on marketing. And as we start to delve the stuff, we've already had some people go out there and not understand what they were doing. And so that gets a little frustrating on our side of the program as well. And I just know all the tools are there. I don't know how to make it easier for you guys to find stuff. We're working on that every day. But real estate, I think one of the things that Adam said this morning that resonated with me is that as we go through these garbage downcline markets, it weeds out the minutia, the people that just want to get a lead and and put it on the MLS and sell it. But everybody that's part of our platform needs to be that person that's professional and offer why. Why should they list with you? Again, you guys got to remember you're one of 2 million agents out of 750 that are certified on this program. And the certification comes with all of the knowledge that we've given you and have. Everybody should be going out and getting listing appointments without even without closing your eye. It's just the easiest thing in the world to do. But your fiduciary responsibility to that seller is to make sure it sells. I've got a guy up here that's got a more affluent home with a view of the water. That's telling me that he wants me to list his home, and I'm going to tell you flat out, $4 million listing. I said, I don't care what you want. I put $10,000 in that property. If I don't feel comfortable it's not going to sell, I'm not going to take your listing. I don't even want it. And all of a sudden the guy flipped a switch. Well, no. He goes, I really want you to sell it. You know, from being this curmudgeon to not wanting to, you know, like he was going to bully me into listing the thing that I had to do it his way. That's not the way the real estate market works right now.
Yeah, I'm not in business to list homes. I'm in business to sell homes.
And it's up to you to make that case of why they need to list with you. And I can tell you right now, I was on this is an investor home. I was on the phone with the investor. The investor was really uncomfortable with what I was saying. And then all of a sudden we got off, the guy flipped the switch to where now I'm going to actually do a CMA on it and see, but if I don't think I can sell a home, I'm not going to take it. Do you know why? I'm only going to take a home that I know I can sell. I've got plenty of experience of selling stuff out of my MLS that's worked. A lot of those people have joined our platform, as a matter of fact, and a lot of people have still come into this thing because we sold a home that nobody else could. So I know what my level of marketing will do, and I know, and I have to feel comfortable. I am not going to go spend $10,000 on a listing and have it not sell. I don't do that. Do you think that resonates with sellers, or do you think that they want to list with somebody who's just going to come out and put a sign on their yard and pray to God it sells? Yeah, and I don't know where you get these things, but my mom flips mobile homes for a living, and she would go somewhere and get the this Mother Mary or something, and they have this thing, this religious thing that you can stick it into the ground and get the house sold. You know, it's a $6 thing that you bury into the ground, and yeah, we can all do that.
On wheels.
What's that?
Did she have on wheels because it's mobile?
No, it's some kind of Mother Mary or something but it's for real estate specific that you actually bury into a yard and you head down and it sells the house.
Robert, I believe it's St. Anthony.
Is it? Is that what you do, Vincent?
That's what very Catholic people do. Most of my family does that. I do not do that with my clients.
Yeah. Well, my mom does it, and so anyway, I just thought it was funny though, and it I kind of go back to a thing, and you know, I do believe in God and our Lord Jesus Christ, that He came down, died for us, and that we're going to go a thing. But I don't want my sellers to have to depend me putting Mother Mary in the ground on her head to sell her home. God's given us all the knowledge and everything else to go out and do the right things for the sellers. And when you come at it from the point, like Brett said, I am not looking to list your home. I am looking to sell your home. And I am telling you guys, I've walked away from as many listings as I've gotten. I don't want to play their game. Half of this thing, if they're not going to be real with you, Why on earth would anybody take a listing? I mean, even to put a sign in a lockbox and flyers. What are we talking about? $1,000, 1,500? Why would I take that listing? The sellers have to want to sell for you guys to be successful. And if they want to sell, they need an expert to sell their home, not every Tom, Dick, and Harry real estate agent that comes in. This guy told me yesterday, he goes, well, you're saying the same thing as everybody else. I said, no, I'm not. I said, the chance of me listing your home are 1%. And right now, I'm even going to look to see what your price is. I'm about ready to tell you, go find somebody else. You're the expert. You don't need me. And that's where sometimes you got to be with these people, because everybody with the technology is a real estate expert. And I guarantee it, not one of them are. But they all think they are, right up until their home doesn't sell. And who do they turn around and blame? They'll blame the platform. They'll blame you guys. They'll blame the process. When it's them not playing by the rules that it takes to sell a home in this market. Does that make sense to everybody? You got to be the professional. You have to believe in what you're doing, and you have to know what sets your stuff aside. Otherwise, you're going to be that guy that just takes a listing and it doesn't sell. You can't play by owner's rules in this market. Unfortunately, you got to play by the buyer's rules. If you don't have access to a house, why would you list the damn thing? You know, they got tenants, they got this, that, this, and it. Why list it? Because again, a lockbox, time and effort to go out there, time and effort to do an open house, time and effort, that's all money. I'd rather spend my time marketing or farming a neighborhood and getting real people that want to sell their home. There's a lot of people that need it. We're at that point right here where there's a lot of people that need to sell. They've waited, waited, and waited. Now they're coming into Christmas season and they're getting further behind on their payments. How do we know that? Because our leads are coming in plentiful that say that. Right? So anyways, we will have an absolute, I just wanted to know that was my thoughts. Adam gave me his thoughts. Kat gave me her thoughts. And Monday, we will come out with resolution for everybody. We'll come out with supporting rules. That's probably going to entail with you guys signing a new IMA in there. But before we do anything and everybody sign anything as a community, and I don't know that everybody's going to agree with what we come up with, but I will at least discuss it together. Right. And if we got to make some little more adjustments, we'll do that. The idea of this thing is that we're a huge partnership. I value you guys more than I value myself in this company. Without you, we do nothing. So anyways, anybody else have anything they'd like to say in rebuttal or in response or what we're doing?
Yeah, I have an idea and a suggestion or something. You said you're doing social media posts and everything like that. Can you send out the social media stuff that you're doing to us so that we can post it just as easily so that we have some initial contacts instead of actually just going out and really targeting those contacts and just blast it on social media?
Yeah, we actually, Brad, we have a company that we are paying to
Okay.
do that. And the stuff that we are marketing right now, and I'm just going to flat tell you, I don't like the marketing, but we are getting phone calls because it's talking about a distressed property, and all they're thinking that they're going to do is get a cash offer on the home.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So the reason why we are procuring it and kind of before we send it out to you guys, getting the lay of the land is because we're going to offer them the 5 different ways they can sell it. And Adam had brought something up. We're kind of like the Burger King of real estate for these sellers, because we have 5 different things that we can offer these distressed properties. Kind of have it your way.
Yeah.
You want us to buy it, pay cash? What's that?
Special orders don't upset us.
That's right.
Brett. Brett's live today. It's great. So all of this stuff goes into the factor. We have posted on the website, the
Mhm.
guy that I paid 25 grand to teach Brett and I how to do social media marketing. And I can tell you, I've sold 4 homes off of it
Okay.
outside of our MLS. 3 of the 4 never even looked at the home before they closed.
Wow.
And that stuff's already posted. That's in the back room. We can certainly develop more content for you guys. And we've been developing content, but it's kind of like if you guys were to choose a niche, I don't even mind
Mhm.
helping people build ads.
Yeah. Okay.
And as long as you
Cool.
have access to Canva, we can build them easy enough together. I know what's worked for me in my when I want to start listing homes, I know what's worked for me, and I'd be happy to do that with you. And I'd be happy to help you post the first couple in Facebook and make sure that the whole deal about is targeting.
Yeah.
What are we going to target? And making sure the ad's set up right so Facebook doesn't block you.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
and I'd be happy to do that with anybody. We just got to get it scheduled on there. So
Okay.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
anything
Sounds
else?
like a good idea for a workshop.
Right.
Yeah, and you gotta remember your client base nowadays, the average first-time buyer is 40, the average buyer is 58, and the average seller is 62. 35 years ago, it was 27 for a first-time buyer, but
Wow.
so almost all the clients are 40 plus nowadays.
Wow.
And
Dude, that's good stuff.
the motivation isn't that we got married and we want to start a family and move into a home. The motivation is we want to move closer to family and friends, which is similar, but it's a very different motivation.
So, I mean, that's a good workshop right there, Brett. You should do that one.
AARP for real estate.
In case you guys don't know, Brett is our designated broker for the company. So he's been in real estate for a long time up in the Seattle area, and he and I met at Century 21, but we've been good friends for a long time.
Is Adam still on
Yes,
here?
Yeah.
he is.
Adam, you said that you can track the activity of the leads of the views coming into the platform. Where do you track that at?
On Zillow.
To the listings, to the properties.
So on Zillow, you can track the leads specific that are showing up on the platform, separate from the views that are showing up on.
No, this is when you list a property the correct way. A metric that you can use, a tool that you can use is the Zillow performance. So you compare it to properties that you deem as comparables in the market and gauge it for the days that they've been listed on Zillow. And you look at the proportion of difference between the likes and saves from Zillow users. And let's say you have your properties listed for 7 days and a comparable property is also listed for 7 days, but yours is listed at the correct price point using an easy listing, and it has magnitudes higher the activity of views and saves. That's indicative that your price is attracting a larger swath of potential buyers, which is your base ingredient to start baking that cake to get, a crowd to an open house and start feeling that FOMO to put in a competitive offer.
Okay, great. Thank you, Kat.
So
No problem.
Kenneth, we've done 3 trainings on it and gone into actual case studies with people that were struggling to and like I say, one of them was with the Minnesota guy, Mike Weiland, because he was getting ready to pull his thing off the website. We go in and check his Zillow activity. He was 1,000 times more Zillow activity with his listing than anybody else with the same, not even close to the same amount of time. So you're always going to see, and that's when I had said, well, Michael, what are you going to do with your seller? He goes, I guess I need to represent them better, and I've got to go and I've got to start using some of these tools and show them. And especially in this market, because it's all about people looking at the property and saving them. And I don't care if you run this the way that we ask you to run this deal, you will have 10 to 20 times more than anybody else with a quarter of the time. Do you think a seller might want to know that stuff? And it comes back to the platform does do its job. And the only time it does it when it's not priced right. All right. So, all right, you guys. We'll see you on Monday. I'm going to get back out there and yeah, I was hoping we get started on painting today, but I don't think so. It's starting to rain out there. So, anyways, have a blessed weekend, and
Thank
we
you.
will catch you guys on Monday. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
one. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye now.
Thanks so much for tuning into Easy Real Estate Platform's Topic Thursdays. We hope to see you again next week, and make sure you check out our Facebook groups. The links are in the description.